Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on when you're listening to this. My name is Jason, and this is my 2007 Nissan 350Z that is currently up for sale. In addition to the pictures and obviously the words that I put on the posting, I wanted to do this quick video just to give you a quick video tour, a walk around of the car, and a quick drive. Certainly a lot of things you can see, you'll be able to see in the pictures, but obviously there's something about a real-time look at the car to just make it that much more real for you. So just wanted to walk around it for just a second, and then we'll take it out on the road for a minute so you can get a chance to see how it drives and what it would be like to own this car. I've had this car for just over a year. I bought it from Hunter Nissan in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I've been searching for a car like this for about a year. I've been a fan of these cars ever since they were first released in 2003, and finally just had the money set aside to pick one up pre-owned and wanted to do that. It's been a good car for me, really good. I've been using it as my daily driver. Unfortunately, about a month or so ago, my wife's car actually had to go in for service, and we're a 3-person household, and during that week that it was in service, I actually had to stay out of work so my wife could drive my car, this car, and take my son around. So that kind of gave me a new perspective on the practicality of a 2-seater car. As you can see, there's no back seats. This is a classic sports car in that sense. All right, that's my reasons for selling, but don't let that deter you. If you are the kind of buyer or car owner that can stand a 2-seater car, or maybe looking for an extra car for the weekends, this would be an excellent choice. So gonna give it a crank up right quick. I'm trying to make this video as true to life as possible, so I'm holding my phone rather. Hang on a second, let me turn the air down. I am holding the phone with my hand, and I'm just trying to record this as one unbroken, just so you can see, you know, obviously there's no editing at work here, and no trickery. This is just what the car's like. Let me put my seatbelt on, and we're going to take it for a quick drive. Like I said, I am holding the phone with my hand, so please forgive any shakiness, or forgive anything I have to like reach the camera to the side to grab hold of anything. This is an automatic transmission. It does have the manual mode. When you shift it over to the right, then you can actually manually shift between the four forward gears and the overdrive, of course. For this purposes, I'm going to keep it in regular automatic mode just to make it easier while I'm filming this. And let's go. Well, before we go, just so you can see, obviously there's no dash lights, no warning lights or anything on. The car has just under 45,000 miles at this point. We've got the additional gauges over here. Right now I've got it set to speedometer. On this gauge, this is always oil pressure, and this is always battery charge. You can see those sit in a good place, and you can actually switch this first one between different settings using this button. And so we have the outside temperature, we've got the miles on the trip meter, we've got average mile per gallon, and we've got these chronometers. If you intended to use this car for track purposes, then you might want to have a stopwatch, that sort of thing. That's what these are. I've actually never used those myself. The car usually gets around 16 miles per gallon in town, and probably, you know, in the mid-20s on the highway. I work in town and I live in town, so I do all of the driving on this car in town, so I'm obviously seeing the lower end of that gas mileage perspective. All right, let's get going. All right, I'm not used to filming like this. I don't usually do video streams or anything like that, so I'm not sure how the engine noise will drown out my words, so I'm gonna try to speak clearly. Hopefully everything's coming through clearly, the image. Hopefully you can hear the smoothness of the engine. The engine is very smooth. The transmission shifts very smooth in manual or automatic mode. The ride is very firm, obviously, as you would expect from a car like this, but still it's very tight. So you can really get a sense of confidence, and you can really get a sense that that the car is not worn out. Obviously, it's under 50,000 miles, so obviously the suspension components themselves are still in a fairly young state of life. I don't want to say new, because obviously 50,000 miles is considerable, but you know, for a car of this age and vintage rather, it's really good miles. So, you know, be confident if you're looking for a car like this. I really do think that that this will be a good choice. If you are shopping for a car particularly like this, and I did for about a year before I settled on this one. I was very particular because I was looking for one that was pre-owned, just for cost's sake. I mean, I can't afford to go out and buy a brand new sports car, but I wanted something that looked just like it could pass for new or fairly new. I didn't want something that was old or beat up or anything like that. And so I settled on this one. I really do think, and I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to sell this car, I really do think you'd be hard pressed to find a version of this car that's in better shape, because like I said, I looked all over Georgia and North Carolina and South Carolina, and even further out using like the Craigslist Tempest search that goes into other states, and I just couldn't find one with the mileage, with the condition, and all these other factors that if you're like me, then you would certainly be interested in. A couple of things of note. I'm going to get down here to this local high school and turn back around. But if, like I mentioned a minute ago, if you're specifically looking for a car like this and you've shopped for any, then you'll know that the interiors are notorious for being scratched up and the paint to be missing, and really the dark plastic surfaces just to look, frankly, terrible, because Nissan painted these cars from the factory. They painted the interior components. So it flakes off over time. So let me stop right here for a second before I start the drive back. And I want to show you, like, here's the center console, the dash area, here's the trim on the doors, and you can see that this car does not suffer from any of those. The interior on this car could basically pass for a new car. And in fact, if you're looking over it and you're really trying to scrutinize, I believe the only thing that you could find wrong is right here on the steering wheel. The aluminum cover pieces, the clear coat is missing from this one. So it's got sort of a little bit of a bare metal look right here. The rest of it's fine, just right here at the top. Now, so, you know, obviously that is an imperfection, but really, I mean, just looking over this with a critical eye, and you really would be hard pressed to find anything else. For a car that's a 2007 vintage, I think that's doing really well, and I think it's a testament to how well this car has been taken care of. And you'll find that same level of care pass through every aspect of this car. Like I said, the drivetrain and suspension, just how the car runs, how it operates, how it feels, how it looks on the outside, the paint, and the body. It's just the same thing. If you look really hard, you can find perhaps an imperfection in the paint, but I really don't think, and I have looked, I don't think you'll find any dents. I don't think you'll find any dings in the actual body, and you won't find any even large scratches that would really draw your attention. It's just a very well kept car, and a car that has not been driven a whole lot of miles over its lifetime, and so a car that still has a lot of life left in it. The car is factory. There's no engine modifications, there's no suspension modifications. As far as I guess body modifications, there's some pinstriping on the outside. It's very subtle. And you know, the front Nissan badge has been replaced with a Z badge. It's the same kind of chrome circle, but it has Z instead of the Nissan. And the black Z badges on the fenders are red. But again, very subtle. And you know, I'm not one for big flashy modifications like that. And I think these fit with my taste. And if you like just small tasteful changes like that, I think they'd fit with your taste as well. Interior wise, the only modifications are I have put a leather shift boot around the shift gate, or the shift knob right here, and that was just to kind of clean up the look of it. There's some other leather on the interior surfaces, and I just wanted that to kind of match, so I did that. And also, as you can see, there's an aftermarket radio. This aftermarket radio, obviously I've got it to custom fit in the Nissan, so it looks like it belongs there, I believe. The radio does have Bluetooth capability, and you can play music straight from USB devices or MP3 devices, what have you. You can stream straight from your Bluetooth compatible phone. So that's just a nice piece that I purchased and had that professionally installed, just to make sure that those somewhat more modern conveniences were available if you do plan on driving this car on a regular basis like I have been. So there's probably more to it. I mean, there's always more that you can say about a car, but I think you'll agree that that it is in very good shape. And you know, if you decide to come by and take a look at it, then you'll find the same thing. You know, you'll find my descriptions accurate. You'll find this video to be accurate. And let me just. Oh, well, I'm not sure if this car is going to go for it or not. I was going to maybe downshift just a little bit and accelerate, just so you can hear it, not speed or anything. In fact, I think I'll take this right turn right here, and that'll give you a chance. If you haven't heard the engine accelerate already, I'll give it just a little bit of a chance right here. So there you go. That's about all you're going to get from me on this test drive. If you do want to buy the car and you do want to drive it harder on a regular basis, I mean, I do believe the car is built for that. I'm just not that kind of driver. In my younger years, I was, and I've actually lost a car doing that, and that obviously whipped me into shape pretty quickly. So I still have an appreciation for sports cars and performance cars, but mostly just because I like them personally, not because I'm looking to get out and drive them hard necessarily. So I can promise you that you know, I'm not the first owner of this car. Like I said, I did buy it from the Nissan place last August, but you know, I obviously can't speak for the previous owners, although it does look like it's been very well cared for. But I can tell you that while I've had it, I've meticulously taken care of it, have not been driving it hard, and the car it spins like a top for me. So I would be confident getting in this car and driving anywhere right now, and I wouldn't give it a second thought. I think my farthest trip, like I said, I work in town, so I'm not really much of a long distance driver. I did drive this up to Charlotte Motor Speedway for Christmas. They had a Christmas event up there where fans can kind of go up there and take stuff off their big Christmas trees. So I did that. So that's about a 2-hour drive nonstop there, and then another 2 hours back. And so I mean, that's not super far, but as you can imagine, I took this car. The car ran flawlessly the whole time. It runs flawlessly on the highway. Runs flawlessly in town, stop and go traffic. You have no issues with merging into highway traffic, as you can imagine. Car's got plenty of pickup. This is the 2007 version, like I mentioned, and if you're gonna buy a car, I would recommend buying this one, because or one of these cars. Buy the 2007 or 2008 version, because that's when they put the HR version of this engine in the car. They only had it for those 2 years, and that is objectively it's the best version of these engines. They'd worked out all, you know, they just kind of refined the design. It's got the most power, it's got the most efficiency, and all those good things. So definitely would recommend that engine for that reason. And again, that's not me just trying to sell you my car. Even if you went for another 350Z, I would keep a lookout for those 2 years. So I'm getting kind of long-winded here. If you have any questions about the car, feel free to reach out to me by phone or text. But I want to stop the video here just so it doesn't drone on and on, or I don't drone on and on rather. But thank you very much for your time. And if you're still listening at this point, I very much appreciate your attention, and I look forward to meeting you.